So yeah, thank you for coming on here today, Mark.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm
For
excited.
sure. For sure. Well, getting this thing started, getting right into it, how would you describe what it is that you do on your YouTube channel? Who you are and really anything else that you want to get into, and then we can go from there.
Wow. Yeah. I'm pretty, I'm not new to YouTube, but I've just started posting these videos pretty recently of, experiences that I've been having with meditation. And yeah, I've been to like four of Joe Dispenza's retreats, his events long retreats, or week long, sorry. And at one of the retreats recently, like a couple months ago, to be honest, maybe 3 months ago, um, I I had an experience that happened there with meditation, connecting, to a different frequency. We can go into that, but basically, I was like, I need to record this. I just felt called to put it out on YouTube, so other people that are experiencing what I experienced can interact with me and we can chat and figure out what we're experiencing. And so I started there and just posted a video that was probably like 10 minutes explaining my experience um, and what I felt and everything during this meditation, which we'll go into. And then like probably a few weeks ago, to be honest, I posted that other video that you saw about accessing, five-dimensional beings with meditation and kind of how you do that. And that's basically where I'm at right now, just kind of flowing. I don't have like this expectation, but lately though, I'm like, this is actually really cool. I like what you're doing and connecting with people, to create, more awareness and raising the frequency in the world. And I think we're all at a time right now where we need that. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, did
Cool.
that kind of answer that question?
Yeah, man, you just sharing what you've experienced, spreading the good word a little bit, right? Just kind of have to tell somebody. Do you feel obligated
Yeah.
to put the word out in some kind of way because you've had these magnificent experiences that you've felt? You said, "Hey, I got to say something."
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of challenging because, the experience sounds wild because, I mean, the experience is accessing these beings,
Mm,
in other frequencies. But yeah, no, it had been challenging. I was like kind of questioning it if I should post that video about me experiencing what I experienced at this meditation retreat. But then I just knew out of nowhere. I just felt like I got a download. Was like I need to like share this so we can connect and figure out what we're experiencing through meditation and to gain more knowledge and to raise consciousness in the world. And we need that now. So yeah, it kind of was a challenge, but now I'm like, I need to, this is what we need. And so, um, yeah, I'm excited for what's to come next with a lot of things.
raising the frequency.
It's the key. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
key.
So let's get right into it, man. What was this experience all about? What did you see? Who did you see? How would we begin to describe your transcendent experience, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. I'll basically just get to the point of me connecting with these beings through
Hmm.
meditation because before that, I had like an awakening, and at one of my first retreats, I like, Kundalini awakening, whatever you want to call it. It's just, remembering what you are and having these experiences. So yeah, I've only been meditating probably for about a year, to be honest. It hasn't been like this 10-year thing. It's been really short. It's been a fast process and a fast awakening for me. A lot of learning, and I'm just still like a little baby. It's like I'm a child. I'm like so excited about everything now because there's so much more. But yeah, so let's get to the main experience that I had. So yeah, this is it was the third retreat that I've been to, and it was in Nashville, Tennessee. Um, Joe Dispenza, week long advanced retreat, and He does these coherence healings. And I don't know, do you know about Joe Dispenza? Have you heard
A little
much?
bit. I haven't explored much of his work, but I do obviously know who he is.
Okay. Yeah. So he at these retreats, these events, long retreats, he does these coherence healing meditations. And you're in a group of like 2,000 people, right? There's 2,000 people in this auditorium, and you're all focused in on healing. And let's see if I can kind of explain it. But in this ballroom, you're there's like the Healy, and then there's the healers, and no one's more special than anyone. Most of the time that people are getting healed in these pods or whatever you want to call it, they usually have like a disease or like a something major, but you can still be a healer and still just be a normal person or whatever. But anyway, so there's like I would call them pods, but it's just a person laying down on the ground basically. There's probably like, 50, maybe 20 to 30 people that lay down, and then around these people, you have like maybe like let's see, probably like 12 people in chairs that are over top of them basically. So not on top of them, but like next to them. The person laying down, and you have like these little pods. So there's like a group of people healing one person. And with
Okay.
that, you create like a vortex of energy, right?
Mm,
And vibration. It's really powerful because when you get everyone in tune in that frequency, you can heal people.
yeah.
I have seen people walk at these retreats that have had
Wow.
like MS, and yeah, it's pretty powerful. So anyways, yeah, so my experience, so I've done these coherence healings before. I did two prior to this retreat, and I had some pretty cool experiences during them. Sometimes my fingers would get tingly, and like that's energy, right? Nothing crazy besides that. But during this coherence, we do three of them at the retreats, at these week longs. And the first time I'm going into this coherence healing, I was already starting to feel like very electric before going into the meditation. My hand was like trembling, and I just was focusing in on love. And I wasn't having too much intention of like opening my heart. Like what you want to try to do is open your heart too. And that's when you feel like love and joy and all that stuff. But my intention really wasn't on that. It was more just like, let's see what happens, because I didn't want to ruin it for me. Because if you go into a meditation and you start thinking about your expectations of what you want the meditation to be, it ruins it. So
Yeah.
I went in with pretty much nothing. So I walk in, go to my chair, whatever chair that they bring you to heal the healer, and I think I'm saying the right healer, the person laying down. And basically for me it's just like all of a sudden this energy starts flowing through me. I start seeing like blue and purple light in my, my eyes are closed. I have like a blindfold, not a blindfold, but eye mask on, and it's black, but it's turns into blue and purple. And all of a sudden I just like feel this this surge of electricity and energy start flowing through my body out of nowhere. And it was pretty spooky because I mean, yeah, if you've never felt something like that, you think something is wrong. But
Yeah.
yeah, and so started feeling that, and it just felt my legs were trembling and like shaking, full of like electricity. My stomach was vibrating, and my chest was vibrating, my tongue was vibrating. It was like I was a current of, we're made of water, and so it like makes sense that electricity can flow through us, vibration. So anyways, started experiencing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then it starts flowing through my hands and my arms. And this sounds crazy, right? Like this sounds
Yeah.
like this person's making it up, which is fine, but like you don't know until you know, right? And then once you
Mm-hmm.
know, you can't not know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, and my hands were tingling and vibrating, and then all of a sudden, like it's just so electric. Like I feel these beings in my body, like or a being. I don't know. It's a frequency, right? It's vibration. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting to them, and the reason why I'm connecting with them, and I'm realizing this more the last like month of my life. This is very recent. and I've been, reaching out to people and trying to like find out what I'm experiencing. And a lot of people that raise their frequency through meditation can access
Yeah.
these beings. It's um, so the reason why I'm accessing these beings is because I've been meditating for a while. I meditate. Uh, meditate twice a day, and then I do this breath work that Joe teaches. So by doing that, you open your third eye, pineal gland, and you create a radio receiver, and you become, uh, you know, things start coming to you. You draw things in. You have synchronicities because you're more wave and less matter.
Yeah. Just
And
more
it's just
open.
exactly, yeah, exactly. You're more open, and so but yeah, that's why I think I mean, it is why that I'm connecting to these beings, and other people have had these experiences too, not just in the Joe Dispenza community, but in the world.
Yeah.
We're all connected to these beings in ways. And anyway, so yeah, during that meditation, I experienced them moving my fingertips, my hands. Like I mean, it was so electrifying, and they just were moving my hands. I don't know what it means. I have no idea still. Um, and also, I was able to see like five-dimensional visuals of like, I swear it's like Atlantis vibes. It was like a lake was behind me, and Joe Dispenza was like Joe Dispenza was like sitting on this like beautiful like white um uh what Coliseum. Anyway, so it was cool because I saw some Atlantic vibe visuals, and just like it felt like it felt something of Atlantis, and it was really cool. These beings, they're very loving. I mean, I just felt my heart was just the most love I've ever felt ever, and you can't explain the love. It just is.
Hmm.
Uh, it's more than words, So, um, yeah, I have had experiences with these beings multiple times at that. I experienced them twice during those coherence healings at that retreat. The same thing, and just like feeling and seeing white and mainly blue and like purple and just like five-dimensional trippy visuals. Um, but you asked me if I can go more into it because at the next retreat that I went to right after that, I actually experienced them again. And then now I'm experiencing them in my meditations at home sometimes. So it's crazy. But you asked me if I have seen them or if they have like figures. And for me, I haven't like seen and I've gotten kind of close, I think, to a figure, but it's still very blurry. It's
Yeah.
more just like they like move in like orbs or whatever you want to say. Sometimes they're bigger, and it's just like this big amount of blue or purple or white.
Hmm.
And I have seen a blue recently. I saw for a second. It was like I don't know. That's the thing. When you go into meditation, you can't expect anything.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know that. It's just you try not to, at least, right? Your brain just goes everywhere sometimes, but that's a part of meditation. That's learning. But recently I did see like a blue alien with like huge red eyes, and it just like popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, holy crap. But it felt loving. But yeah, I haven't really seen um like actual shapes of the being yet. So
Yeah. Wow, man. Well,
it was a
moral of the
lot.
story is there's more than meets the eye. And once you open
100%.
your third eye, you get to see it. And you see it in or feel it in ways that go beyond the five senses. I think that's what one can truly experience in meditation is that there are more than five senses. And the other senses are very subtle yet very powerful in that way. And you do get these downloads, which is a popular buzzword in the spiritual community, but it's true. You do get seeming downloads from another source somehow, some way. They send you messages and light codes that come through once you open yourself up. And it can be a little overwhelming, but as you said, it's actually loving. Do you feel as though these beings are a benevolent force that are guiding you toward just growth and betterment and peace and harmony? Like, do you ever feel any nefariousness out of it, or are they the good guys per se?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and I'm learning more and more because, like I said, this is so new to me compared to people that have been experiencing this for like 5 to 10 years. And I'm very grateful because I'm meeting people now that have experienced these beings, and so it's like I'm not alone, and I can gain more knowledge and learn how to connect with them more. And so yeah, to answer your question, I would there's a mix of beings out there. Like there's for sure beings that don't have good intentions, and there's beings that do. I've been lucky enough to mainly have experiences with those positive beings.
Yeah. You know what
And
that is because I think you go in with intention of love.
exact
It's like attracts like.
Exactly. It's pretty, so I'm exactly. And if you have a lower frequency and you're experiencing like hate and negativity, most of the time, probably something is attached to you that's negative, a
Hmm.
negative being or whatever. But yeah, sometimes beings want to get in there that are not worthy, of your time. And, but yeah, for me, I haven't experienced that too much, maybe a little bit, because even when you're in the light, sometimes that darkness wants to creep in, that those other kind of beings.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning. Like sometimes I experience some stuff where I'm kind of confused and I'm like, is this loving to me? Like what? And that's the thing is you can push those beings out too, because you have control over that when you're in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but luckily for
Yeah,
me,
man.
yeah, I've just experienced more of these beings that are loving because I've been, like you said, I mean, when you live in your higher chakras, you live in your heart, you live in your brain, you connect your heart and your brain, that heart and brain coherence. That's what Joe teaches, Joe
Mm.
Dispenza. And you access love. So the more you access your higher chakras, the more you're gonna be in the higher state of vibration and create synchronicities and have more loving things happen to you, and your whole life just is amplified, and it's
Yeah.
so awesome. But yeah, so I have luckily only spent time with like pretty kind beings, and I'm realizing more and more that I believe, like, I've been having a lot of people reach out to me through the Facebook group, Joe's Facebook group, and because I mentioned my experience, and there's people that mention like Octurians and Palladians, which are other star galaxies and beings. So I think that I'm connecting with the Octurians. And I just actually got a book about someone who's channeled them in the 1990s, and it's actually pretty profound and like very familiar what I'm experiencing. So
Mm.
um, still learning. So I don't want to say that I know for sure, but what I do know is that I know we can all access this. It's not like someone's more special than anyone. We're all gods and we just have forgotten. We have
Yeah.
been brought down, yeah, into density, and we forgot that we were five-dimensional beings. So
Yeah. And we forgot that we're psychics and we have these powers.
yeah, it's so cool.
Hmm.
Oh man, I love it. I love
And
it.
it's at this point, it seems just like we're experimenting with our capabilities. Imagine if we could hone in on this. And actually, that I've heard stories about Atlantis, not that anyone truly knows, but it rings true and it's resonant that they had schools of thought or schools of psychic thought in that manner. Like they would train people into these skills so you don't have to experiment and have no idea what's going on in meditation sessions and have that overwhelming feeling of what is this. They would know, like, yeah, okay, we're psychics. We're going to train you into this craft, almost like you get trained in carpentry or like electrician school, and they just have a psychic school, you know? So I could see that in the future, returning to roots like that is yeah, it becoming apparent that we're all psychics, but also becoming skilled in that field, if you want to call it a field, you know? And that's just apparent,
100%.
yeah. All of this
Yeah,
is just, it may sound crazy to anyone that has no idea, right?
for
Maybe like,
sure.
what the heck are these guys on? They gotta lay off the drugs, man. Like,
Well, yeah,
seriously.
I've had people, yeah,
But if you know, you know, and it's quite apparent, you know, it's actually obvious if you're really tapped into yourself, this stuff just rings true. It's like, yeah, obviously we are psychic. And who knows what you want to label these beings, whether they're Pleiadians, Arcturians, reptilians. I don't think, uh, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's useful because how do we even know what these things, how can you label them? How can you give them any kind of imagery? You know, I've seen like paintings and stuff, but I don't think it's like that. I think these beings are deeper than like a graphical representation. They're deeper than labels that we colloquially and classically know them as from sci-fi. They're more of like information. This is an idea of Terence McKenna that the alien is like information more so than like a being you see and you hang out with in your living room, right? It's
Right,
like
right.
it may represent itself in that form, right? But I think more so it's a symbol and it's like it's a information stream. And that is more so of what the being is. And you can see that in terms of like AI. Right now, we're bringing this, maybe it's in a crude way, but we're bringing about this new being that is literally just some kind of information stream. So if you take that same architecture and put that onto other beings, other forms of intelligence, it would have that same formula and that same blueprint of just being information. And it's information that is how do I put this? Deeper than the symbol that is being conveyed to you. So like you know how you say you got light codes, you got these colors coming in. I think that's just like the byproduct of the download that you got, the unconscious download that you got. So these beings, what am I trying to say here? It's like it's deeper than what meets the eye. Even though you may be having these transcendent crazy experiences, I think what's actually happening is you're establishing some kind of connection that is deeper than what you actually are experiencing. You know what I mean? So the experience is cool, but that's just the cherry on top to actually what's happening with these beings at a psychic level. That's
Wow,
just my 2 cents.
that's cool. No, I'm learning so much. Like I could totally agree with that because I think what it comes down to is what I think is what is it what are you feeling with your heart, right? Like I think what can it can you can be and I agree. I'm like I don't know what these actually beings after actually look like. I haven't experienced it yet, but I guess I've heard people that have seen things, but the bottom line is like we're all trying to get back to source is what I
Yeah.
think, you know. And to me that's like in my heart. Like that's where I feel like God or whatever you want to call it, source is like what am I feeling in my heart? Because I believe that the heart is it's you know Joe just I don't want to I keep saying Joe Dispenza, but that's what a lot of stuff I know is you know it's your creative center. It's also to me um your compass. It's your compass.
Yeah.
Your heart is, you know. And so I agree with a lot you're saying though, because I mean, man, that actually was amazing what you said because I have never thought
Thanks.
about it that way. Because there's at the bottom of the day, at the end of the day, we're just like I said, we're trying to get back to source, and we're
Hmm.
all from that. Whatever, if it's beings or if it's just frequency that we're experiencing. Yeah, but for me, it's just you know, just because I felt them move my hands and I'm still, yeah, I'm still not sure what it is fully, but all I know is it's like is very loving, and I feel like they're helping me, you know, at these retreats and in general, this frequency or beings, they can heal your
Hmm.
body, and that's what's amazing and powerful. And for me, they've healed like my shoulder pain that I've
Yeah.
had for years. I feel them like moving my shoulder and like doing amazing things to it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's frequency, it's vibration that I
Yeah.
feel, and I feel that I felt them like grab me, and you know, it's just very powerful. And so yeah, I just think at the bottom of you know the end, I just keep saying the bottom of the day, the end of the day, that it's about what you feel in your heart, and
Hmm.
um, yeah. So I love hearing what you said though. That's amazing. Like that made me think about it more. I'm like, whoa, it's so big, right? Like
So
there's so
big.
much. Yeah, so
Sometimes I
cool.
feel it's more useful to think about aliens or other beings as just an extension of myself.
Exactly, because they're not aliens. We are them, right? Like we're
Hmm.
brother and sister. I think whatever if they're a different frequency, but we can get to that frequency, you know, 5D or whatever you want to call it. If you raise your frequency, you connect with other parts of source,
Yeah.
you know?
It's all source.
And
It's all one. Even the aliens are
yeah,
one.
exactly. And we are aliens. Like
Yeah.
we're on a planet in space. You know, we're on a planet in the universe. We are whatever, you know, we're all connected and it's yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's all connected, man. It's all part of the one mind for sure. And I
Hmm.
think it's it's in the blueprint of life, whether it's on Earth or in the Andromeda galaxy, to connect. I mean, how we got
Sure.
lost in the first place, I don't know. That's rather esoteric, and who the heck really knows? But
Yeah,
either way,
that's a
I
good
think we're
question.
supposed to connect to that one mind.
For sure.
however that comes about. And I think what's happening is these other parts of us are sending us downloads to connect. They're giving us the opportunity to connect at this point. And it comes through as, like we said, it looks like these other Pleiadians or Arcturians or reptilians or whatever other form it may, whatever appearance it may take form in. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. Like to me, at least. I mean, to other people, it may be more powerful, but it doesn't. That really doesn't matter as long as you know that this connection is greater than yourself and that there is a point to move toward love. I think that's really all that matters. If you want to keep it simple and rather stay out of the woo woo, you could say, even though I don't think it's woo woo, but someone would label that as woo woo. All
For
that
sure.
matters is that kind of we're getting some kind of information stream somehow, some way that appears as something else or from somewhere else, but it's really not. There is nowhere else. There is no one else. It's just yourself trying to wake yourself up at the end of the day. And
100%.
it's trying to wake yourself up so it can connect to itself. You know, we're connecting here on Earth, but that's only the first step. First, first we got to do that. Actually, that's probably first matter of business is connect on Earth and let's all get along here.
For
And
sure.
then after that, I think we connect with other beings on other planets and we form this galactic council in some sort of way.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it seems like I know what you mean. It seems like we're getting beamed in from some other source. Like we're getting some kind of information stream from somewhere else, but it's not anywhere else, is my point. It's just you. It's just us at the end of the day.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
That's the next stage of evolution, I feel.
Oh yeah, dude. I think we're stepping right
Intergalactic,
into it. Yeah.
interplanetary. And the only way
Yeah.
that we can join the club is if we wise up and stop killing each other.
Yeah,
We
dude.
start loving each other because if we're killing each other on this planet, we don't want that with other planets, you know? There is no Star Wars, as much
Right.
as we glorify Star Wars, but
For
that's just
sure.
craziness if there are other beings,
Yeah,
you know? So
exactly.
I think that's why love is so important and poignant to us at this point, and that's why that is like the main message of the psychedelic experience or just meditation in general, is
Yeah.
because that's how we evolve. We're not going to evolve if we don't love, and we're not going to be able to link up with ourself, which is intergalactic, which is universal, until we start loving each other.
Yeah, dude.
People like they label that as cliche and hippie. It's like, no, that's a higher form of intelligence is when you love somebody, when you love each other, and we all form this cohesive collective. That's how we
100%.
evolve. If not, we're just gonna be on this hamster wheel forever. So
Exactly.
yeah, and I think
Exactly.
the only way that we evolve is through meditation, is by slowing down and sort of rewiring our brain. We've gotten so far through Darwinian evolution, right? We've gotten to the point where we're at now, but I think Darwinian evolution has reached its limits and now we're evolving ourselves. That's part of the next stage is you have to consciously evolve yourself to not be at the whim of your environment. You pretty much take control of your environment and your circumstances to say, there's got to be something more, first of all, and then you move into something more. That's the thing. Like we have to
Right.
consciously move into something more, or
Right.
just stay on this perpetual cycle of suffering that some may call samsara.
For sure.
Yeah,
I
but
love that.
yeah, it's many different ways to look at it, man. You know, you could get into the aliens, you can get into yoga and the higher self. You can, whatever it is, it's like there's some kind of evolution. Evolution hasn't stopped. We're
Right.
moving towards something. A lot of people,
Yes.
and I don't blame them, I'm not condemning anybody, but a lot of people think like this is it. We reached this human state. We got Google, we got AI, and this is the point where we're at, right? We came from apes and we're here. And that's it. It's like, what? No. I actually feel like this is an in-between stage between the apes and the alien, where we're at right now. I mean, just look at us. You know, just look at our appearance. Like
Yep.
we're slowly shedding hair and
Yeah.
we're standing
Yeah.
upright, you know,
Oh
like
my God.
we're almost there. We're in the middle. So
Yeah,
that's
for
where I
sure.
feel where we're at right now. We might be getting help from the people that are already there, advanced civilizations like Atlantis
Yes.
or
Yes.
Atlantic like. And they're trying to like pave the way. Like, come on, monkeys, you're almost there. Come on, almost.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
at
Oh
the
my
in between
gosh.
stage. And
Right. That's exactly right.
yeah, that's what's happening right now at this point. Evolution hasn't stopped. It's continual evolution
Yes.
self-evolution, but also at a collective as well. But it's the same thing. You know, we
Right.
evolve ourselves by evolving ourselves.
Right.
And that's the point we're at right now. It's conscious evolution. That's what I like to call it.
Dude, I love that. I love that because it's very basic and well, it's not basic, but it's like just a nice
Simple.
term. Yeah, it's not like it's not too woo-woo because you got
Yeah.
to add like, and with the reason why I like really connected with Joe specifically is just because he he talks about it at a very basic level, like the science behind meditation and how you can change your emotions. And so people can wake up that are just stuck in the 3D, because that's where, I mean, I was there for a while and I was kind of waking up. I, listen or read books like about philosophy and like Eckhart Tolle, things that were kind of waking me up. But then I read, Joe Dispenza's one of his books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and it had the science and the emotion, like how you can change your emotions by thought alone and all these things. So yeah, it's like you have to have a little bit of a basic scientific term for people that are kind of still, I wouldn't say lost, but just have forgotten who they really are, And
Yeah.
so what you're saying about, creating this new world and like back in Atlantis, they would, they would sit down and teach people about being a psychic or how to be a psychic. And yeah, you have that ability. I think that's where we're, like you're saying, that's what's happening these days is our evolution is changing. We're starting to connect more to that higher frequency, becoming more aware that we are remembering that we are psychics. And that's what's
Yeah.
going to be the future is us teaching each other about how to live with each other more, how to love each other more, how to be a psychic, how to use your telepathy powers. Like we just
Hmm.
have forgotten, I think, is what has happened. And it's so cool because we're at the I think we're I don't know at the beginning stages, but I think something beautiful is about to happen for
Hmm.
the whole, earth. And it's gonna be I think, and that's what 5D is to me, is just like an elevated emotion and being in love and joy all
Yep.
the time. There's
Yep.
no sadness, there's no, pain, there's no killing, there's no rape. It's just all love. And like that's what we truly are. And I feel like, yeah, we just
Yeah.
forgotten. So it's
Forgotten.
exciting.
It's
Yeah.
exciting. I think it's already happened, to be honest with you. You say it's
Exactly.
going to happen, but it's already
Yes.
happened. And
Look at
right
what
now
we're
we're,
doing now. Like, yeah,
yeah,
me and you are having a
literally.
conversation about the supposedly woo-woo stuff that wouldn't be you couldn't talk about like 5 to 10 years ago even,
Yeah.
and now all these people are waking up and having conversations not just on YouTube but in real life and are waking, the raising the frequency and the consciousness is just rising. So yeah,
Hmm.
we're here right now doing it. Yeah, it's so
That's
cool.
it.
So
And
cool.
we're becoming more in touch with our organic technology, our innate organic technology that has been shrouded in ignorance throughout all of these years. And what's interesting is we've developed this inorganic technology. So I think the
Yeah,
inorganic
inorganic.
technology is going to aid us through science, as you mentioned, to show us that there is proof that it's not all woo woo. You know, the fact that you can study the brain through MRI scans and actually see a definitive proof is enough for people to maybe start it, you know, because seeing is believing in our paradigm right now. So the fact, and I used to be on this wavelength, very all science, um, all just like pragmatic, rational, very along those lines. And if I were to listen to us, say like 5, 10 years ago, I'd be like, come on, man, get that
Yeah,
out of here. That's
for
craziness.
sure.
So
Uh-huh.
I actually started off with like diving into the science of this stuff and entertaining the possibility that this is actually real and those guys in the robes with the funny names might be onto something. You know,
Right.
the
Right.
monks and the
Yeah.
swamis, huh? Maybe they're not just doing it to look like Jedi. Maybe they
Yeah,
are actually
exactly.
becoming Jedi in some
Yeah,
way.
totally.
Yeah, so that's what's cool about the time we're in is we have the technology to actually show the physiological differences in our brain and our body. And you might not be able to see the chakra level and an energetic level like that, but I think that's where it comes into a personal experience, a direct experience. You know, there's only so far the technology can go, but as long as it gets you on the wavelength to at least entertain the possibility of changing oneself, that's all that matters. And all
Yeah,
you got to
dude.
do is just look
Yeah.
at the MRI scans that they have. Like they studied monks, I'm pretty sure it was monks or long-time meditators, of how much their brain changes from long-term meditation. And it's a drastic difference in what your
I
brain
believe it.
does. I wouldn't be able to articulate it at this point. Anyone can look it up themselves, but just the fact that we have that. It's cool.
Right.
That's awesome. So I
Amazing.
think yeah, but that's gonna slowly like our evolution is going to slowly morph into that. It's like utilizing our organic technology, which I think we have a lot of that we're not tapped into,
Right.
with the inorganic technology that we're quite literally using at this point. And that's how we become the Ubermensch. I think I said it a little wrong there, but the Ubermensch, as Nietzsche says, the Superman,
Wow.
the evolved man, the truly evolved man, the true word, the true meaning of Aryan, as they say in the Vedas,
Wow. Yeah.
is
Wow.
the being that we're kind of supposed to be from the
Yeah.
beginning of time. Maybe it was all according to the plan. It's like we were supposed to be in the darkness for so long, develop the mind, develop this inorganic technology to a certain extent of where we are now, and then we recover and remember the organic technology that we have, you know?
I honestly think you're right. I think there's a story. I really do.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
That's what I feel tapped into, at least the more I tap into myself, that even though if you turn on the news, it may not look like there is any order here. It looks like it's all chaos and we don't have anything figured out. But I think behind the scenes, and if you are tapped into yourself enough, you see that it's all going according to the plan. God's plan,
Yeah.
if you want to use the G word, or just the plan of the Tao, the
Yep.
Force, the Matrix. There's something going on here, and it's all, I think we spoke about this a little bit. It's all benevolent. It's all like for us in some way. It's all like bringing us to evolve in some way,
Right.
And that's what's cool. When you feel that, you're like, at least for me, there's this like, yeah, okay. You can see through the veil of the darkness and the ignorance and the illusion.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. Yeah.
And there's endless illusions and delusions that are brought to us from this technology. But I think
Right.
that's all just you just see that as almost like child's play. It doesn't negate it. There's a lot of suffering for sure in the world, but you can see through it and you can see that it's all for a greater
Yes.
purpose than really it transcends your life ultimately too.
100%.
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
very powerful when that dawns, when those like unconscious downloads dawn. It's very powerful for one's being, and it's really true strength, true
Yeah.
strength despite the darkness of the world. It's like it gives me gumption in my living and in doing all of this. It just gives me some kind of yeah, just will to live. Not that I wouldn't want to live. I don't, it's just like this will to like actually live, like carpe diem, type of
Exactly.
attitude. It's like
I
you want
get
to
that.
work with it rather than against it too. It's this like
Yes.
this order, there's this there's something going on, the flow of life, and you're either with it or against it. So it's like you're gonna want to be with it, man. That's how at least I feel. You're gonna want to go
100%.
with the flow rather than against it.
Yeah, dude. I love what you're saying because it reminds me of my experience like cuz I was dude, I was like the world is sucks. Like,
Hmm.
there's climate change or whatever you want to call it. There's fires, there's
There's
earthquakes, there's
wars,
war, yeah.
disease, there's endless list of stuff that could.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and dude, no, you're good. Like I want to mention this because it's very important for people that struggle with the times, that we live in and we feel like it's so dark because I was there a couple of years ago for sure and
Hmm.
I struggled with major anxiety for a long time. I took anxiety medication for 11 years. Um, every day. I took anxiety medication every day. It was like it got me by, and I didn't know at the time that I was just not relaxed. I wasn't in my heart. I was just so caught up in the beta wave form where it's just like freaking out that, the world's crazy, I'm crazy. Like, so I had so much anxiety and depression.
Yep.
And I took medication for 11 years, but through meditation, just in general, I don't want to say just Joe Dispenza, but just meditation in general, I
Hmm.
was able to get off of my medication. Like it is the key to healing. It is the key for almost every type of healing, I think. I'm not going to say that, I think doctors are great. There's a lot of great things that we need doctors for, but we can heal ourselves through
That's it.
meditation.
Yep.
There's no doubt. So it's amazing because I was able to heal my anxiety. I've been off of it for like 5 months now, I think, with no medication.
Awesome.
And thank you. And so, what was I going to say about this? Is I was super depressed for a long time, like for many years, and yeah, I'm just I'm so grateful that I just hope people that do listen to this, that, meditation is the key. And if you sit with your body and you tell it to sit down, and even if you have thoughts in your meditation, that's okay. Meditation is a practice,
Mhm.
and every meditation is a good meditation. And Joe Dispenza says that, and it's true because it doesn't matter if you're having thoughts, like just practice not having thoughts and tune into nothing. And you can have mystical experiences. You can create DMT in your body. You can create all these other psychedelic experiences in your body because you're a pharmacy. I've had moments, like I was just in Hawaii. Fortunately, I was able to go, and one of the days I was like, I woke up and my heart just like flooded with serotonin out of nowhere. And that's what happens when you meditate and connect with your heart and wake it up again, is you start creating your own like serotonin and you just feel like joy. And I started just like crying for no reason and like,
Mhm.
full of love. And so it's an amazing thing because like also said is you really can create DMT in your body. I mean, when you die, you release DMT. You have DMT in your body, and you can create those visuals and see amazing things and have mystical experiences just by through meditation.
Yep.
So yeah, it's amazing, and it is the key to where we're headed. Like we need to all start connecting, and that's what we're doing, and start tuning into our body and listening to our body and sit with our body because once you do that, you start tuning into more love, more joy, and then you get away from that old self, which is negativity, sadness, depression, all that stuff that this society has, created, especially us. I'm 32 or 31, almost 32. I'm 31. And how old are you? 20 something, 30?
31.
31. See,
Mhm.
so like we've been through some stuff. Like we feel like we've been through the time where it's like the world's ending, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that we're here and we can realize that it's not. This is actually just the beginning of a new
Yeah.
world. So
Uh-huh.
super cool. Yeah.
Exactly, man. I gotta use the bathroom really quick. I've been drinking too
Yeah.
much water.
No, go for it,
Quick
dude. I'm
intermission,
gonna,
everybody.
okay, let's
Be
do
right
it.
back. Yeah, so the point we were on is the dark world or the seeming dark world,
Right.
right? And it's not really as dark as they say. But I feel as though it brings us the darkness of our life, it brings us to the light. It leads us to a point of exhaustion where we kind of reach a point where we say there's got to be another way. And I think we're
Right.
all reaching that point at this time.
Right.
It's a stage where we are reaping our karma, a collective karma. And all the yogis say karma really is just lessons that inevitably bring us to this realization, into this wavelength,
I
brings
love
us to
that.
God.
Yeah.
So I think it's all, as we said before, it's all part of the plan, you know? But I think it's the darkness is what paves the way for the light. So yes, the darkness can almost be seen as grace in some sort of way. Once you do realize that the world is not ending, as you said, it's like hallelujah. Well, you realize
Right.
it was all for some kind of reason, you know? It was all for the
Hmm.
reason to bring us into this realization and this seeing. So yeah, it is pretty cool though. It is pretty cool to be able to see that. And maybe the world is appearing to end or appearing to change, at least on the physical level, you know, at the physical phenomenon of the world. But ultimately, I think it's making way for a better world, a truly better world
Yeah,
where we do
exactly.
live in harmony and love with each other, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take, 100 years, 1,000 years, 100,000 years, who knows? But I feel that
Right.
pull. Like, do you feel that just inevitable pull toward a better world, not only in your life, but also for the collective?
Yeah, dude, I think we're in it too. Like you're saying, we are in it right now. I don't know the timeline either. I do feel like it's close. I don't know what that is though. Um, it could be in 5 years. It could be in like 30 years. It could be in 1,000 years, like you're saying. But I do feel something. I feel something like, I don't like recently I've been getting into, more mystical things because, my whole life has changed the past like year of my life. And the awakening I'm having. And I've met really cool people that just have all this knowledge about, not just beings, but yeah, like lizard people or whatever, all the and the story, like, solar flares and how we're connected to them and how they upgrade our bodies to prepare us for something, I think. And then they talk about the solar, like the big flash. There's so many things, and then you realize you're in the Matrix. But there's
Yep.
a story, I think. We're in the age of Aquarius too. Um, and that started like a couple weeks ago, I think, where that's a big thing. There, all these things are like lining up, and I'm like, huh, it's pretty cool. I'm not saying I know that, I don't know what the timeline is, like I keep saying, but it's just, I think there's something going on, and we're a
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and going back to like there's a feeling that we've felt, right? Like there's been plenty of times in my life where I'm like, there's, like you said, there's gotta be more. Like your heart feels it. Your heart feels that like sadness,
Mhm.
from the pain that people are feeling and the suffering. And that is that is your heart being like, yeah, there is something more. And
Mhm.
you're a part of that. And that
Yep.
is why a lot of us here, I think probably all of us, I don't know. I don't know if there's like a select amount of people or what there is, but I think all of us deep inside, we've forgotten to wake up our heart.
Mhm.
And a lot of us here right now are here to wake up consciousness and to wake people up and to throw, some seeds to people. Um, Even if they don't understand it right away, they might come back later and be like, "Whoa, but what that person said, it resonates with me now, and I want to try to meditate, or I want to try to like live in my heart." Like basic things like that. It doesn't have to be, "Ooh, I want to like connect with beings or connect or have mystical experience." I mean, it can be whatever you want, but the basic principle is like try to just keep connecting with your heart, and you're going to remember more of
Yep.
what you are. It's Yeah. So
Mhm.
I think we're at a really amazing time, and I keep listening to people on YouTube talk about, you know, um, what's to come. And like, I think everyone's feeling that there's a big shift.
Mhm.
And I'm excited. Everyone is seeing the world and it looks scary, but it's like, there's so much like cool things that are happening that, even the news in general is like shifting. Like they're talking
Mhm.
about UFOs, and I think they're being more open about things. And it's so, I think a lot of cool things are going to happen. So.
There's something going on. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, we feel it. We feel it in our heart, We know
Mhm.
that there's always been something there. And it feels amazing to remember that we're more than just these bodies. Like so
Exactly. Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That's what comes along the way too. Is yeah, we're more than just these bodies. We're moving toward a better age. The beings. Yeah, it all comes through. But I think an important part of about what you said is the just keep it simple, keep it basic, just meditate. All of
Yeah.
that other
Yeah.
stuff could be another distraction in the story, to be honest with you. I could see that, like this whole spiritual path and realization and awakening and evolution. It's cool to entertain, especially here in a podcast and relate to each other on that. But
Sure.
if that's your intention, I think it could be counterintuitive. Like we said, if you go into meditation like you're trying to get something out of it, and it doesn't work that way. You just have to go in with no conditions
Right.
and uh
Right.
nothing, actually. You just go into it just to do it. I don't know. Your heart leads the way in that regard. You don't do it for any reason other than just to meditate and maybe just find a little bit of peace if there is something to do it for. It's peace in your own
Yes.
happiness. And
Yes.
however the world decides to create itself and respond to that in the future, do we move toward the 5D and do we stop killing each other and yada yada? That doesn't
Right.
really matter. It'll happen on its own accord. You save yourself to save the world. That's what's important. And it's so
Wow.
simple in that
Yeah.
way, right?
Wow. For
It's so
sure.
simple in that way. It's so basic. It's like you take care of yourself and that's how you do it. And even if you wanted to save the world, you couldn't. That's the thing. Even if you
Right.
wanted to be the next Jesus, you couldn't. That's the
Right.
thing. So you have to be your own savior. And in that way, it could be daunting. I could see that why that would be scary because we're all looking for some kind of external savior, or we're looking for a bad guy to blame all our problems on. Um,
Yes. Oh my
yeah,
God.
no, that's falsity. It's there. No one's gonna save you, and no one's gonna destroy you either. You
Right.
save yourself, or you destroy yourself too. That's the thing. It works both ways. We just
So
been
true.
destroying ourselves for so long, for a very long time. But now this is the time where we save ourselves. The ages of Aquarius is where we become the Buddha. We
Yeah.
become all of these beings of the past that were in the age of Pisces that paved the way for us before the internet. They showed us the way. Now we become the way. We follow the way. We follow in the footsteps of all of these people. I think that's where this is all going, is we become the shaman.
Yes.
And that's not an
Yes.
arrogant or grandiose way, man. I would think it's like, as we said, this is accessible for all of us. This is viable for all of us to follow this path. And
100%.
if not, you're just going to suffer. You're either going to destroy yourself or make yourself. You're either going to make yourself or break yourself. Check
Exactly.
yourself before
Yeah.
you wreck yourself, a wise man once said.
Simple, right?
It's
One
quite
second.
simple.
We might have to cut this for a second. So yeah, what you were saying, dang,
Well, it's a
Aquarius,
new age we're moving in, and we all
age.
become our own Buddha, essentially.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And what I was going to say about that, all that you're saying is so cool. And man, it's where we're at right now. And it's so cool that we're just talking about this. Like it's normal. It's amazing. This is like
Right.
what we are. But yeah, I agree completely. Like we are gods. And it's hard to accept that because like you said, we've just been living in depression. Like, and another thing you said is we, uh, we have a choice. You know, you can
Yeah.
either live your life in pain or you don't. It's a choice. And that's what I've had to realize is people that want to heal, and this is, I don't want to, I keep saying Joe, but I'm going to get over that now. But I mean, Joe has changed my life and other gurus too. And we're all the same, right? But
Hmm.
Joe specifically says, um, you know, these people that come to the events or that want to heal or what they're not and their intentions aren't to heal. Their intentions are to change. That's why
Hmm.
they heal. So
Ah,
it's like if you want to change, you want to change an emotion, you don't want to be sad, you change that. You
yep.
don't be sad. And you sit with, I mean, whether you want to do meditation or not, it's a choice of, you know, you can either be sad or you can be happy. And we are, you know, that's why I think we're gods. We can decide how we want to be and how we want to act. And um, we are also, you know, like you're saying, like we are Christ consciousness. Like we are Christ. Like Christ was here to show us what we are, you know? Like it's just one of the many beautiful beings that have, you know, that knowledge to give us during these times of change. And it's so cool. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that because what you're saying was just, yeah, a good download of a lot of things. So
Yeah. It's definitely cool. That's for sure.
yeah, it's just a beginning too, and like it's exciting. You get like I have never been so excited in my life. I've never been so happy in my life. It's like every day is just like obviously I'm still, you know, there's things I'm working on. It will probably be like that for a little bit, but most of my days now are just so amazing
Hmm.
because when you connect with that, when you change your vibration, you connect with source. Everything is just so much more beautiful. And then you start remembering, you know, what you really are. And it's, yeah, I could just go on for hours about it. So
Yeah.
cool.
Well, it sows the seeds of accountability, self-accountability, and sovereignty, this whole path. And that's pretty much what the Buddha was trying to tell us, is it's all up to you, man. You're suffering because essentially you want to suffer. And if you don't want to suffer, it's all up to you. You have to follow the path. So
Yeah.
that's the path for all of us. It may not be necessarily the strict eightfold Buddhist path, but in some way it has to do with you take control. You are responsible for really how you want to feel and how you want to live.
Right.
That's the age of Aquarius, and that's all of us becoming the shaman.
Yes.
And as we
Yes.
said, if not, you're going to suffer. You either make yourself or break yourself. He who is not with me is against me, Jesus said. He didn't mean that himself. He meant that in his essence, his way, his path, what he was trying to show us, his message. If you're not with it, you're against it. And it may seem a little drastic, man, but that's it. It's like, dude, you got to recognize this. If you're not with this wavelength of raising your frequency, it's only going to fall. You
Yeah.
know, there's no
Exactly.
there's no half measures. It's like you got to go all in on this thing,
Yeah.
or
And
else. or else. Go
Or
ahead.
else, yeah, or else it's like you just live in pain. Like, and
Yeah.
it can be challenging, but it's like, do you want to keep living the way you're living? Do you want to keep feeling like crap? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have a choice,
You have a choice.
and I get it. We all, this is the thing, is I have a different life than everyone. Like, I don't know what people have gone through. I know we have our own pain, our own suffering, our own trauma. We all have that, and it's different. But I swear it's about the courage of just, you have to just change. And it is possible for anyone. It doesn't matter how old you are, how sick you are, um, what your
Truly.
trauma is. You can change and you can connect and you can meditate. It's just, it's just so easy to forget when you're just so sad all the time and you're just stuck
Mhm.
in that frequency and thinking that this is it. This is the end of my life. I'm a horrible person. And I get it. I mean, we've all been there and it sucks.
Yeah.
But this is the thing is like I try to tell people this sometimes and I can only say so much because I can't change people. I can only give them some, some seeds,
Hmm.
give them advice. But
That's
at
it.
the end of the day, as you know, yeah, it's like you have to change. You are the shaman, you are the god, you are the creator of your life. And it can be challenging, but you have to change. No one can do it for you. It, it's the answer to everything, is just changing for yourself and loving yourself. And but then this is what I recommend for people um, is what I've learned for the past year of my life is when you connect with your heart, just sit. It doesn't have to be a Joe Dispenza meditation. It can be any type of music, you know, the right frequency, whatever meditation you want, and just sit with your body and tune into your heart. Start thinking about your heart. Sit there for 15, 10 minutes. It can be 30 minutes longer than that. And just listen to your heart. Try to connect with your heart. Even if you want, go find an example on the internet of where your heart is located
Mm.
and tune into it. And you will start feeling some amazing things. You will start having some mystical moments. You'll start feeling joy because what has happened, as I keep saying, is we have forgotten where our heart is.
Yep.
And we have been, yeah, living in our stomach, our lower third center, and
The
all those
sacral.
other, yeah, exactly, the sacral. And that's, that's where sadness is. And for me, like when I started connecting with my heart and my brain, like connecting those two, there's a coherence there, everything just changed. I just felt like I was saying earlier, I'm just happy all the time.
That's it.
And so, yeah, I really recommend that to people that are just wanting to start meditation or whatever. Sit with your body for 10, 15 minutes and tune into your heart and see what happens. So,
See what happens. That's it,
yeah,
man. Yeah. Important part about what you said is all we can really be is a testament or just a reminder. You can't do it for anybody.
yeah,
And that's what I hope to do. And that's what I'm guessing you hope to do is just at least spread a little bit of the good word of how it affected you. I think that's our greatest service that we can provide is like, yeah, this is real. As you said, you haven't taken anxiety medication in 5 months. And I
yeah.
used to have a lot of problems as well, and I don't have those problems anymore. So this is
Dude,
real,
nice
and that's
job.
all we can be. Thank you. And that's all we can be is a testament that this is real. And it's not coming from a point of like anybody can do this. It's not coming from a point of being privileged. Like some critics may say, "Oh, look at these two white guys saying how easy
Sure,
it is, and look at they're happy." It's like, no, dude, anybody
sure.
can do this. All as we said, meditation. Anybody can meditate. You just got to put the phone down, stop scrolling on TikTok, and meditate. You know what I'm saying? We all have time.
Yes.
People may make excuses like you don't have time. It's like, dude, no. Anybody, literally anybody can do this at this point. Anybody can slow down and just follow the breath. So that's what's
Yeah.
cool. There's no excuses. There's no excuses.
No,
So
there's not. There's not.
that's I guess that's just how I kind of want to end this thing is there's no excuses for any of us. And I imagine if anybody has listened this long, they already know what's up, to be
Exactly.
honest with you.
Dude, I want to say one
But
thing. You're on a great path, and I just keep doing this because this is how we raise consciousness and to let people know that they don't have to be sad. That's the bottom
hmm
line. Like you can create your life. And so
hmm
this is awesome what you're doing. And I'm just like super excited to be a part of it and just to spread great information. And like you said, we all have this. No one's
Yeah.
more special than someone. Like you can be
hmm
anybody. And what it comes down to is love. So your heart.
That's it. It always comes down to love. Focus
Yeah,
on the
man.
heart, and that'll lead the way through all endeavors, through intuitive guidance. That's what I like to say. It'll
Ah, I
just
love
lead
that.
you. through like some kind of higher intelligence that goes beyond the mind and the mind stuff and all of the delusions and illusions of the ego and the egotistical paradigm and mindset that has been set up for us. It'll lead the way throughout all of that, all of our suffering.
Yeah.
Always focus on the heart. Hope that doesn't
Yeah.
sound too cliche or corny, but somebody's got to say it. Somebody's got to remind everybody, and that's all we are. It's just a reminder. It's just a
100%.
testament for everybody else to come back in, come back
Love
home.
that.
But yeah,
Love
man,
it.
I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate you coming on here. All of what I'm doing is only possible because of people like you. So thank you, and keep doing your thing as well. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm
For sure.
excited to see what comes for sure.
For sure,
Thanks
man.
for
And maybe we can do this again in the future. I think we just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg on where we can go from here. But
we did. I would love
yeah,
to, man. Thank you so much.
sounds good. And yeah, peace and love to you, and peace and love to the listener. We're gonna be okay, everybody. Bye,
Got
y'all.
this.